Having a mentor is really important, and there's a great theory in saying that you can't read the label from inside the jar. You know, the most important marketing program in the world is to love the one you're with, that established client program that generates that method of introduction. Your best way of generating business is when business is being generated.
Welcome back to Next Generation Agent, here with Nathan Najib. Today, I'm interviewing Lee Woodward, one of the best trainers in Australasia. Maybe I like to think the word because he's been doing this for a little while, and I've attended some of his seminars, and he's great. He's trained some of the best agents. One of them would be, I remember Matt Steinway, who I went and saw in Sydney. So I'm looking forward to having a conversation with him. G'day, here we are. How are you?
Mate, very, very well.
It's lovely to see you. Long time now. How you doing?
Mate, very, very good. Thank you.
Great. I appreciate your time. I'm very looking forward to this conversation because I know you are one of the best trainers that I've attended conferences that you've held, and you've trained some of the best agents in Australasia. One of them would be you worked very close with would be Matt Steinway, right?
Very much so. Had Matt from the very, very beginning, and even finished his last production last year, which was The Ultimate Agent.
How good. I've got a bunch of questions that I want to talk to you about. And this podcast we call Next Generation Agent because, you know, back in the days, there was, when I started real estate 20 years ago, real estate was done a different way, and you know, it wasn't. That's why we haven't got a great name, and our industry hasn't got a great name because the way they used to do things wasn't done the right way. Now we call it Next Generation Agent because you've got new agents coming on, and there's more transparency. People understand that integrity is so important nowadays, and with a day of social media, everything you do anything wrong, thankfully, people find out about it very, very soon. Tell me, what do you think after being in the business for 40 years? Is that right, Lee?
30 years. I've been in the industry from agent to now.
Good for you. And I talk about also, Lee, that theory mentors, and maybe we should start with that. Somebody who's read a lot of books, and somebody who's also got experience in the business and application, actually apply the thing. That's the best, what I call a trifecta. How important is having mentors? Because I've been blessed with having some of the best mentors. Tell me more about that.
Having a mentor is really important, and there's a great theory in saying that you can't read the label from inside the jar. So having someone see you externally and say, yeah, appreciate that. However, would you consider saying it this way? Instead of saying we need to reduce the price, we need to improve the price. And just one word from someone on an external factor can make all the difference.
Absolutely. And then if somebody who has done it, like, you know, I think Jim Rohn, you'll be familiar with, he said, if you want to do something that's been done before, there's no need to invent the wheel. You can just follow the blueprint, right?
Very much so. I had the honour of speaking with Jim Rohn, and there was a big lineup of speakers, 15 people, and everyone had their slideshows and PowerPoints and videos, and he just went up there with his journal and did it from the stage. I'll never forget that. It was a profound moment.
One of the best guys. He was more of a philosopher than a motivational or inspiration speaker, right?
Very much so.
Tell me, I know you've trained some of the best agents, and Matt Steinway will be one of them that is known all around the world, definitely Australia and New Zealand. Tell me, what makes it different? What traits do top agents have in your eyes?
They're very good at not getting distracted by everything else going on. And with that, I mean, simple's difficult. So a top performing agent uses the least tech, near no tech of anyone. Their main device, their flux capacitor, is their phone. And the phone records are the real records. So they'll have some team members who use the database, use the email sending systems as marketing. But for them, They're connected to their established clients. They're very good at claiming doors, and that's all they do. They don't get distracted by, oh, this new thing's out, that new thing's out. They understand it's a connection process. If you don't have those connections, and, you know, the most important marketing program in the world is to love the one you're with, that established client program that generates that method of introduction, that is what they do well. They don't overcomplicate it.
Brilliant. And if I'm a new agent and I want to put in the work and I want to fast track my success, what would be a bunch of things that you would say? Like you said, simple, but if I stick to those simple things, you would say, hey, Nathan, in 12 months' time, you're going to smash it.
The first thing is to understand the timing of something. So, for example, if I came over to your area right now and started my real estate career, regardless of how much knowledge I've got and skills within the presentation side, I will go really badly until I claim 900 doors. 900 doors with consent allows me to have 46 transactions, but it takes time to build the doors. Now, I might come into you as a principal and say, look, has anyone left the business recently that I could take over their settlements? And you may say, oh, Lee, Bob retired, and Bob was here for 6 years. He had 350 doors. So I could ring every one of those doors. Hi, Helen, Lee from ABC Real Estate. Bob's no longer with us. He's retired. I've taken over your property file, and I just wanted to reach out and let you know I'm about to send you a price update of all the surrounding sales of your home, just to keep you informed with what's going on in the marketplace. And is it okay if I update you every 6 months? If you've got any real estate questions, I'm here to assist you. But the goal, and the only way I can do this, is claiming doors. And it takes 900 doors to get to 46 transactions. So just the understanding of that versus, oh, it's been a month and I've done nothing and nothing's working and I thought it'd be really easy and I would have sold 10 straight away. That's not how a career-based agent thinks. And even for myself, I will go really badly until I've got the doors. There's just some facts and evidence you can't escape.
I love that. Claiming doors. I never heard that before, Lee, but tell me more about claiming doors, because people like today, like you think real estate or salespeople think they own a business today, where that's not how it works. It takes time to claim those doors. What do you mean by that?
So the good news is the book I launched last year was Claiming Doors, and it was because of this question and conversation. So you look at yourself, you've done so much wonderful work in the area that you've claimed a lot of doors of the community. So as you drive through your area, you'll see a house you sold 4 years ago. You can put your brand on that door. That's one of your doors. And the owner of that one bought a house off one of my competitors. That's now one of my doors, because relationship trumps anything. Yeah. So all these doors, your landlords are another set of doors. All these doors are connected to the community. And if I did a great job on that door and 6 other doors are saying, oh, we're thinking about putting our property on the market, you've got to ring Lee Woodward. We purchased off him or we sold with him. So claiming doors becomes your super fund of how you survive in real estate. But to claim a door, you need their consent, that you can send them information, that they can profit from that knowledge. And if they know anyone that might need any help, they can pass them on. And that's what claiming doors is.
I love that. Claiming Doors. That's a great. I'm sure it's a great book. I haven't read your book yet, but I'm definitely gonna order it. And we'll put a link below as well if anybody wants to order it. I'm sure it'll be amazing. So, claiming doors. I know there's a step ahead before that most agents don't do, which is like, I'll let you speak to that. Like before you're able to claim door or put your sticker on it. What goes under the bridge before you claim doors?
Okay, so you've got to let the houses do the heavy lifting. So if you have a listing or the company has a listing in a street, you look up that street and say, we've only got 23 doors out of the 150 in this street. Yeah. So on the Wednesday before the first open for inspection, I'm going to go door knocking, but door knocking differently. I'm going to door knock and say, hi, it's Lee from ABC Real Estate. Just letting you know, this Saturday for the first time, number 15 William Street's coming on the market, and would you be open to attending the inspection? And they may say, oh, what's it going to go for? Well, the surrounding sales have been from this to this, and we're looking for a result above that. But would you like me to text you the sold result when it's done? Yeah, that'll be great. I'll just grab your mobile number.
Yeah.
Let me share my contact with you.
Yeah.
And when I get back to the office, I'll text you a price update of all the surrounding sales of your house. And if it's okay with you, I'll update you every 6 months. And if you've got any questions, I'm here to answer it for you. They say, yes, I've just claimed a door.
Amazing. Now, no other agent has got that information, because if I'm still selling, Lee, if you look at my database, most people in my area, I've got their phone numbers, the email addresses, their anniversary dates. So those doors are claimed over many, many years. It's very hard to lose that market share, right? If you're working at it.
Well, interesting enough, every time someone lists a house where they didn't know the person before that moment, that means someone just lost the door, because that house was sold to them by someone. So every house we all list that we didn't know the people beforehand, no one gives thought to whose door am I taking, but someone sold it to them, some company, some brand.
That's
but because
right.
people are not good with established clients, they lose doors. And when we say we're short of business, we're actually suffering from leakage. There's a difference.
Yeah.
And this is the difference. So whenever, and I'm not sure if it's happened to you or not, but it's happened to me when I was a young agent, not as a senior agent, but you're driving down the street and a signboard catches your eye and you reverse the car back and it's one of your doors from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I've got a competing signboard on it. And you think, what happened there? They were going to name children after me. And then suddenly you say, well, Lee, do you have an established client program? No, I send them a Christmas card. That's not enough. They've forgotten who you are and you've lost a door. So for a lot of the people watching this who've been around a while, you've got to go out and reclaim your doors, because a lot of them have sold 2 or 3 times and you're still sending a Christmas card, and the tenant of that property is putting it on their mantelpiece because they don't get a card from anyone. But it's not the owner anymore.
Interesting, huh? You said established clients system that you have. We call DNAs here at Najib. So what do you mean by that established client system I think you were talking about?
Yeah, certainly. So actually over here in Australia, they make a mistake calling them past clients as if they're dead. Whereas an established client is a vendor or a purchaser or a landlord who transacted with you, and you keep that love alive. The greatest marketing campaign in the world is to love the one you're with. But everyone makes the mistake chasing strangers rather than reaching out on that settlement. It's been 5 years ago since you moved in. Or the most important one, you've got a property 2 streets from there that you've just listed. Now's the time to hotspot. Hi, Helen, it's Lee. I've just listed one 2 streets behind you, and not sure where you are in your thinking, but whatever this sells for is definitely going to have an impact on that wonderful property you purchased from us. And I'm so glad you bought when you did. Your street and area has performed incredibly well, generated a lot of wealth for you, and that was a good real estate decision. Buying 5 years ago as you did was a good real estate decision.
Hey, scripts, you're the master of scripts, Lee. I know that. It just comes out so naturally. I want to talk about 3 things. I want to start about from new agents, then average agents, and top performers. So you're talking about established clients. A brand new agents won't have that. But you did talk about before that about claiming doors. So
you can claim doors through orphan data.
Right.
So the best database in a real estate business is the trust account. All those things have settled, all the records are updated, but so many people have moved on or retired or who knows where they are, and those doors sit there dormant and end up not being used. So as a brand new agent, you can take over doors from someone who's left. You can also leverage off, there's many agents that don't have time to do their own opens and so forth. And you could be the notifying door knocker who goes through and speaks to those people and claims those doors.
Yeah, amazing. And I think one of the most important things what most agents don't do, Lee, is the door knocking, right? If you have got nothing to do, you're brand new, just go on door knocks in your area. Get phone numbers, email addresses, add them to your database. It becomes your client, because most agents They don't follow up.
100%. And, the new name for database is followers. How many followers have you got that are following the work that you do, or following the results that you get, or the changes in legislation, market? There might be, I know here in Australia with the housing crisis, we've had some massive rezonings where 3 stories is now allowed to be 9. And the airspace has become very valuable, as anything close to a train station and good public transport can now be a vertical community, because we're out of land in the way of with services. Like Australia's got a lot of land unused, but not with services. So they're allowing anything close to the stations to, you can sell the airspace.
So with the agents that they can go and get new data, like put them into a database and then follow them up and follow through. What do you suggest? Let's start from new agents. Like, I'm brand new, I've come in, orphan data is fantastic, that's great, I can get that. Most agencies don't have no database. Our database is all open.
The next one, which is neglected and probably the easiest, is buyer sellers. So every inquiry coming in, every inquiry that you get on a property, your first instinct is to find out, do they have a trade-in? So, and the best way to do that, very simple line, you're chatting with Helen, and Helen, the property you now, are you going to hang on to that one, or and pause, everyone finishes the sentence for you. So when you say the property you're in now, are you going to hang on to that one, or we're renting, we're living with parents, or we have to sell it?
Yeah.
But you've got to know that present housing of every person you speak to. And then probably the easiest question to ask anyone now is, what's your current situation? Like everyone's got a current situation, and that can get to the truth quicker. But everyone you're speaking to, they've got to live somewhere. So the question is, do they have a trade-in?
That's right. And you've got a clean contact. What I talk about, I'm quite fanatic when it comes to the contact list. I tell my team is like, everybody should have a first name, last name, email address, mobile number, the property added to them, and the anniversary added to them. So it's important to make sure it's clean. You've got clean database. And so I'm still back to the first new agents, and I'm mindful of your time. We come to the experienced agents and average agents, but I'm still new agents. I'm working on orphan data. I'm doing some door knocking. What other way I can get my name out there? Like you were talking about, it's not who I know, it's who knows me, the followers metaphor that you said, right?
Yeah, for sure. But look at it this way. Everyone with a signboard is moving. So there's no reason to reach out to other signboards, not about their house. But if I was to ring Helen and say, Helen, notice your property's on the market, wish you well, what are you looking to buy? Oh, we're looking to move up into a 4-bedroom, 2-story brick and tile with a pool. We've got a few of those. When can I show you that? So suddenly you've picked up the best buyer is the seller, but that person, like in my first year, all my referrals came from buyers who didn't buy from me, but they had a good customer experience and said, if I was ever going to sell, I'd go with him. The others were terrible. They don't call you back. They're lazy. And, we work in an industry where people have got all the jargon, but not the behavior. So having professional behavior, and unfortunately, this is such a true factor. You actually don't have to be that good to be that good. The industry is still got a lazy streak, where if there's an easy way to do it, they'll find it. Yeah. And people pick up on that. And I think one of the greatest ways to generate business is your business energy. People pick up on it keen. My first year of real estate, everyone would just throw me a set of keys and say, oh, we're going to give it to you. We just didn't even like the others, but you seem all right. And that business energy wins you so much business. That'll get you through the first year, but then you've got to get good at the skills. Delivering fees, overcoming objections. And that's where professional training is so important. And even today, I can be in a room of $5, $6, $7 million performers, and I'll say, throw me objections. What are the biggest objections you're getting right now? Okay, answer it this way. And still at that level, they're keen to progress further, but refreshing your words is such an important skill.
Yeah, 100%. Training and consistently improving is so important. And I know you guys do so many conferences over in Australia. I used to come there all the time. I'm a little bit busy with running a business now, so I'm not there that often, but I've learned so much from the guys in Australia, and obviously from yourself. I've attended many of your seminars. So if I'm looking to learn more, if it's dialogues or scripts, what will be a conference or a place I can attend, I can go to?
So there's a difference between conference and then training days.
Mm-hmm.
So we've just had Eric over here this week, and that was 15 professional speakers sharing for 20 minutes or so some moments of their life.
Yeah.
Whereas the complete salesperson course is the 2-day event, which is my one. It's got the workbook, the mapping processes. It contains links to all the audio snacks of information.
Mm-hmm.
So be it how to deliver fees or stage marketing, and structured training is the answer. So we've had 10,000 agents go through the complete salesperson course. That's how I first met Matt. He came and did the course. Phil Harris has done the course 22 times. And I got a text from him 2 days ago saying he's trying to get to the Hunter Valley course. And you think, what is it about returning back to that North Star of learning to say, where am I now? Because a lot of people suffer from evaporation. They were good once and they've stopped doing it. So you've got to get back into training to refocus and reset.
100%. I've been to your Hunter Valley complete course. It's amazing. It's a great location too if you want to do a holiday there as well. But I totally agree with you. You should attend. I mean, your trainings, of course, they're amazing, but also it's not just your training. There's a whole lot of other training that people can attend to. Eric or right? Yeah. So continuously improving. If Phil Harris is good enough for Phil Harris to do it 20 times in a row or 20 times, I'm sure it's good enough for anybody, right?
Well, you look at Phil Harris, like Harris, the organisation, they will do over 2,000 sales this year. That is an enormous amount of sales.
Absolutely.
And in January this year, their kickstart was the complete salesperson course. But we're talking about one of our top performing groups as an independent. That's a lot of doors. When you're doing 2,000 doors a year, what's 4,000 doors? And then the property management doors come in on top of that.
He's got massive property management.
Prime areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get you here because I'm not sure. I don't think you were here when we did a conference here in Christchurch. A little while back. It was just after, I think after the mosque shooting, we did that as a charity, and there was a bunch of legends from Australia that came down here. So next thing I want to move to, Lee, is average agents. What keeps average agents average? One thing you see is not consistently improving. Yeah. What else is it?
They don't have a sequence. Like if you look at structured business, you've got lead generation, lead conversion, and client fulfillment. So in lead generation, you need a sequence. In lead conversion, you need a sequence. And then for client fulfillment, which is that vendor management moment, which is probably the most important one. One sale should generate 5, but so many agents just get it on the market, try and get it transacted quickly so the client's not whinging and on to the next one. Wrong. Versus how can I pull another 5 opportunities out of this experience with this person? Because once you go live to the market with one, that is working in the heat, working in campaign. Your best way of generating business is when business is being generated. Yeah. Cold calling and door knocking are a default. That's what you do when you don't have anything to do. But once you've been around a little while and you've got enough doors to claim doors, well, then 20, 30 connects a day is a bare minimum. You're looking at anywhere from 5 to 10 appraisals a week that you're going to require. But don't overqualify. Many people go, oh, they're not ready. And then I see signboards on it. I've got a situation at the moment where I've got a lead generation team who has really done well, yet they're ready to leave because the agents said, oh, no, that wasn't a real one. Well, it's got a signboard on it and it's sold. Oh, they're not a real one. Another signboard's gone on and it's sold. So how did we misread the play? In lead gen, we did the job. In lead conversion, we failed badly. And that's that nurture gap. A lot of people have really got to work on the nurturing process. If someone's selling in the next 2 weeks, everyone's great. But if it's 9 months away, that's when they drop the ball.
I love it. So I talk about you got 40, 40, 20. So 40% is done work is done prior to going to presentation. And then 40% on the spot, how good are you right there and then? And then 20% if property is dead on list, because not everybody lists right at the time, right? And then most agents, They go to a presentation. If they get the listing, good. If they don't get the listing, they move on. They forget about that client. And then the great agents is totally opposite.
Correct. And it is called the nurture gap. But that communication process has changed. So, for example, and this might shock a lot of people, you can actually ring someone so much now you'll lose the business.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just keep chasing them with phone calls. They're going to shut down or think, yeah, you're a hassle. Mm-hmm. Versus the great just sold report or the great just listed video campaign you do. You've got to use blended marketing and not just like the phone calls are important, but you can ring so much you'll lose a business. You've got to know how to blend that up.
How to blend it up. I like that. And what I love, because I've got things from people, learned so much from people and stolen things from them, and I've implemented in my business. We've got system, a blueprint from A to Z, and I've got some of your framework thing that you talk about. Do you want to have a conversation about your framework?
Yeah, so when I wrote the book Frameworks, there's 10 milestones to the entire sales process, which gives you that horizontal, and then vertically are the actions, the strategies, and the concepts that you will use. So even staged marketing, being able to explain to an owner, there's 4 campaigns. Campaign 1 is our VIP preview. Campaign 2 is social. 3 is portal. And 4 is the street campaign, where we invite everyone in the street and the surrounding streets to the property, but we don't just run 1 campaign, we run 4. So that would be one component in the framework. And once you get your framework right, it's just about repeating repeating your performance versus each month. Everyone's going too wide with too many things, and simple's difficult. They're overcomplicating their approach.
Yeah, interesting, huh? I want to touch on. We're talking about average agents now because they haven't got system, they haven't got structure, they haven't got systems. You talk about lead generation, lead conversion, and client fulfillment. I love that because you check if you're lead generating, if the generation thing is working. If that's not working, you got to fix that before anything happens. And then how good are you converting, and how good are you making sure the clients are raving fans at the end of it? So talk about those 3 things, please, Lee.
Well, they all connect. So, if you were looking at the lane of lead generation, your project there is claiming doors. I need 900 for 46. Now, what you don't want to happen is you start generating opportunity, but when we go to the listing presentation, it's like you're running onto the grand final with your thongs on, your flip-flops, and you're not wearing the right equipment. So I spend a lot of time with people now building their listing leave behind, their pre-listing information that goes out, their digital introduction, so that you don't lose this grand final opportunity. You've claimed all the doors, but you've got to make sure your listing presentation is a modern, up-to-date one. A lot of people are very old-fashioned in their listing presentation. It hasn't changed for 20 years. And, the first skill of presenting today is not to present. The skill is to interview the owner and ask brilliant questions, such as, just suppose this property's sold, you're ecstatic with the result from us, and you've moved on to your next house. What will you miss most about this property? And they give you that key selling proposition of the house. Now, that skill is vendor involvement, and they feel connected to you. Or it could be how you're delivering the fees. And fees is probably the biggest weakness of most agents. They didn't learn the technique to deliver fees. They hide behind it. They're nervous about it. They're scared of it. And, in teaching fees, you got to be proud of your fee. Mm-hmm. And there's a low fee and a real fee. The question is, can you explain the gap?
Absolutely.
So our top agent that we look after, who just took out the REIA award for #1 salesperson in this country, there's no coincidence that the competitors are charging 1.52% and he's 3.75%. So you would have to want to know, why is there such a significant difference between his fee and their fee? But he's just good at explaining that difference. And if you can't, the owner will just go with the cheapest. You're all the same. No one was very good. I just had to pick one. Versus there was no comparison between a real estate career-based agent and someone who just has got nothing to offer but low rates.
100%. I had this like we're not commodity. Like, we're not just a blue Toyota that you can just compare the case, compare what it's like, what it looks like, how many dents it's got, and then buy the one that's the best. A great agent, as opposed to an average agent, could make you $50,000-$100,000 more, depending on what your property price is, right?
Yeah, and by charging the correct fee, he was on a podcast with me not so long ago, and he said, Lee, my fee is like a bouncer at a nightclub. All the bad people don't get in. Meaning all those crappy jobs that don't want to treat you properly and use the right marketing, they won't invest that money. But it's like a self-filter in the whole thing.
I love that. So now that brings me to the last part of it. I'm mindful of your timing. We got about 10 minutes. So what makes your top agent, is that Alexander Phillips, was it?
No. Matt Steinway will be our top as someone that we still communicate, work with his team members. Actually, Matt's team were at the Complete Salesperson course 12 months ago. It's just coming up to that time now.
How good is that? Tell me about what makes Matt Steinway or the best agent's best agent. What makes Phil Harris, or your best of the best? Now, I want to tell us more about that.
So the best of the best are very clear on what they're not going to do, and then have a commitment list to what they are going to do. So claiming doors is a non-negotiable. The number of connects in a week that the team has to do. And when you're at that level, like Matt would be doing 20 sales a month. And if you look at dollars, that's 890,000 in fees a month. But that doesn't happen by one. That team's got 3 listers and they're all equally skilled. But the key to that success is Matt's been claiming doors for 27 years.
Yeah.
And then it was only about 8 months ago we finished The Ultimate Agent, which is Matt and I going back through the original Matt Steinway system. And we did 10 key principles to being a successful agent. But it was simple, of having that game plan, rolling that out each week. And there's a difference between an ideal week and patterns to your week. Like an ideal week isn't ideal in real estate because the weeks are crazy and the people have certain time frames. I'm only in the area today. Is it okay if I can see you? So, but patterns to a week is very important. Understanding the concentration piece. So a lot of people don't do well because they can't concentrate. They can't sit for, a couple of hours and communicate with their community. Soon as an opportunity of a distraction comes in, they're out, they're gone. So they don't stick to that work, which means they're not match fit. And this is a very interesting part of being in real estate or any craft. I know myself, I speak a lot throughout the week. I speak to a lot of audiences. So you end up very match fit. And the next people that see you, they'll go, oh, wow, that person really stood out because they're match fit. Now, if you're receiving phone calls from someone, Tom Hector, I was recording phone calls with him the other day, but he's so match fit that it just sounds different. So when he takes a shot at that chance to, I'd love to be on your radar just for a chat when it comes up, and then replacing words. So instead of using the word appraisal, use the word assessment. And they refresh their words, they have patterns to their week, they don't expect to skip the sessions, the communication sessions, and they know how to prospect for future business. That's the difference.
Interesting, huh? Because it's people think like agents who would work pretty hard and they make, let's say, 400,000. They think that if they move from 400,000 to, let's say, $1 million, they think they have to work doubly hard. But the reality is, you put great people around you to be able to, what we call as EBU, effective business unit, to allow you to do what surgeons do, just the productive stuff. Talk to that for a bit, because I know you know that most top agents have got EBUs.
Very much so. And the effective business unit has a series of commitments. So if I'm in the lead generation buyer management, I'm expected to find 5 appraisals a week minimum. That could be escalated up to the lead agent. As the lead agent, I'm expecting you're going to win 90 to 100% of those presentations. Otherwise, we all starve. And there's a lot of good leverage agents leaving an average lister because it's going to affect their income. Everyone's got a commitment. And then in the vendor management side, we need the experience from our operations manager to be so good that that's our number one listing lead source, is how they felt about being on the market with us. So suddenly operations, which used to be called a personal assistant, is not. That's where we win the game, is by they're an amazing team to work with. And they're not talking about the listing presentation now, they've already listed, but how they felt being on the market. A well-informed owner is easy to manage. So everyone's got these equal roles. It's not just, an EBU is not a lead agent and two PAs. That's what it's not. Yeah.
Interesting, right? So everybody knows your role. It's just like an amazing team, like an All Blacks or a Springboks team that run together. Everybody running to score that goal, right?
SEAL team, specialist roles. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Now, before we go, what I want to do is I would love to get you here, Lee, to do a complete course one day. Hopefully by the end of the year we get you over here, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great agents going to come to the complete course. But we'll chat about that.
Complete salesperson course.
The complete salesperson course. Thank you. How can we find you if people want to talk to you, want to learn from you, want to come and join you one of your courses until we get you down here? Tell us more how we can find you, Lee.
leewoodward.com.au is my personal site. On there, you can click book Lee, investment. Everything I do is within there. And then the weekly podcast is We Are Selling. So every Thursday comes out a brand new podcast. Last week was Jordan Bulmer from Team Steinwade. This week, we've got a 23-year-old commercial agent who just put an incredible deal together. We've had Tom Panos on there, John McGrath, Matt, everyone appears. That program actually took over the Real Estate Hot Topics program, which you appeared on yourself. So the weekly podcast, it's just 15 minutes, but We Are Selling is that podcast.
I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I hope you're doing good. I hope Robin is doing good. Kids and everybody. I'll catch up with you soon when I'm in Sydney next time, eh?
I would love to see you, and I'd love to get over there to New Zealand and do a complete salesperson course. That would be magical.
We're going to organise that. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye-bye.